Coming up on 6 minutes past the hour today, hundreds of supercars are driving from Kansas City to Washington, Missouri, all for a special reason. It's all to honor Alec Ingram, a 15-year-old who lost his battle with cancer earlier this month. 41 Action News reporter Jordan Betts is following the processional. We caught up with her in Oak Grove.
Well, they've traveled from KCK and now they're here in Oak Grove. They have a few more cars, some really cool cars that they'll be driving all the way near St. Louis. And joining me this morning is Chong. He is driving one of his cars here. Tell me first of all why you wanted to do this.
Alec has been a car guy, and he likes supercars, and just part of the car community. We came together, and this is something. It was his final wish, so we felt that it would be a great thing to come out and honor him.
You guys are driving though a few hours in some of your smaller cars though. It's got to be a dedication. What does that say about your car community that you guys are all rallying together today?
My thinking is, with car guys, we just basically need a reason to drive, and this is one of the perfect reasons to drive on this beautiful Sunday.
Yeah. Besides the rain that we had earlier, you guys are doing something very special to see all these guys that are here that are going to be driving. When it comes to Alex at the end of his funeral, tell me what is going to happen.
From the funeral home, when Alec gets brought to the hearse, the family has requested that there's going to be an engine rev off. So, we hope to participate in that too.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, and thank you everyone for being here as they drive in their super cool cars to honor someone that fought really hard with his cancer, and so we'll send it back to you.
Quite a special event. Good to see everyone coming together for all that. Kansas City Mayor Quinton Lucas holds his first town hall meeting. Coming up, we'll show you what was most talked about with neighbors. Mayor Quinton Lucas held a town hall and heard from the community on gang violence, education, and crime. 41 Action News reporter Nick Starling was at his first meeting.
There were a lot of passionate people here inside the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum for the first town hall meeting. While the topics range on a variety of subjects, one thing that really took center stage was reducing crime in the district.
Welcome to the first of my Mayor Q and U.
In front of a packed room, Mayor Quinton Lucas laid out his priorities as mayor.
You should be able to not have to have gunshots waking you up or being a soundtrack of your life.
While several topics were discussed, reducing crime was the main focus of this town hall as Mayor Lucas listened to the people in this room.
Make these people show identification to purchase bullets.
We have gang violence, we have drugs, we have a whole lot of random things that are going on in our community.
Some here say it starts in the schools.
If they're not educated, they can't get a job. When you get to be older, you're 18 years old and older, you're going to do things that you probably shouldn't do in order to get money.
Crime prevention, behavior, and we're always talking about the children that are doing the crime. They have been neglected.
When you have crime in the neighborhood and during the day I see children that are not at school, that goes back to that parent.
Others want more activities for youth to help keep them out of trouble.
We need to, as an adult community, find out what those things are and create something for them to do so that they can be busy, have their hands busy doing that, and not be into mischief.
Mayor Lucas says he hears their concerns, but says he can't fix the problems alone.
It continues to be, I think, my paramount concern. Frankly, it takes more than just a few laws about guns, though. It actually takes a lot of community involvement.
Reporting in Kansas City, Nick Starling, 41 Action News.
This was the first of many town hall meetings the mayor plans to hold. Mayor Lucas plans to have one each month in a different city council district. The mayor also laid out his priorities on things like illegal dumping and tax incentives. Head on over to kshb.com where we have the mayor's promise tracker. We have a list of the promises Mayor Lucas made while campaigning for mayor, and we'll keep track to hold him accountable.
On Weather Track Radar, we are tracking a little bit of rain out there, and some of that may start to reach the ground. We will look at this system, and there's two other weather systems to track in the week ahead. We'll have all the latest coming up.
Good morning, everybody. The Chiefs getting set to make the trip south of the border and probably should already be there by now to face the Los Angeles Chargers on Monday night. Haley Lewis has a look at what the team is doing to bounce back after their tough loss last week.
The return of Patrick Mahomes in the Chiefs game against the Titans was supposed to be Kansas City's secret sauce. Mahomes threw for 446 yards and 3 touchdowns, an incredible offensive performance that still resulted in a loss due to overlooked details and poor execution, according to the Chiefs.
As a defense, we got to make the plays. I believe we had 8 missed tackles last game. You see a lot of those things convert to first down conversions. But you're going against the running backs nowadays. You got to make plays on these running backs.
Now looking forward, the Chiefs put Tennessee in the past and focus on their game plan for the Chargers in Mexico, a team who snapped their 9-game losing streak to the Chiefs with a 29-28 road victory in Week 15 last season.
2 great rush-ins that 2 of the best in the business. They're very well coached, and they've got experienced linebackers, and their secondary flies around.
Could be in tune to what we're doing with regards to rushing the passer, stopping the run, make sure everybody has their man on key when it comes to wide receivers and running backs. Everybody got to be in tune with what we're doing.
One advantage for the Chiefs against the Chargers will be having their MVP back in the lineup, feeling better than ever.
I feel really good, honestly, and I mean, just going out there and being able to play the game, do the things that I've kind of grown accustomed to doing, of scrambling and doing all that different type of stuff, and coming out healthy was definitely a positive sign.
Mahomes also said the last time he felt this good was all the way back down in Jacksonville.
Just being able to not have to worry about the ankle or not have to worry about the knee, and just being able to go out there and play football the way that I've played it my whole career so far.
One concern going into Mexico is the elevation, as Mexico City's altitude is 2,240 meters as compared to Kansas City, who sits at 273 meters.
The elevation and the altitude shouldn't be a problem with us if we take the right steps to be prepared for that, and that's what we're doing.
But I mean, I've never been affected, knock on wood, never been affected like in Denver or anything like that. I know it's supposed to be twice as high or whatever, but I'm gonna go out there and just play the game and focus on what I can in order to have success.
So the Chiefs look to get back to their winning ways with Mahomes healthy and ready to go on Monday night against the Chargers. With the Chiefs, Haley Lewis, 41 Action News.
Thank you very much, Haley. That is your look at sports. Have a beautiful morning.
Check this out. How cool is this? The Chiefs are getting ready, of course, to play Monday Night Football in Mexico City, as we just heard. This will be the team's second try after last year's game didn't work out because of field conditions, but you can see some artwork that was posted recently. They're set to play the LA Chargers at 7:15 tomorrow.
Pretty neat. And outside right now, out at Arrowhead, it is quiet on this Sunday, a rare moment because there's no game, of course, in Mexico tomorrow night. And it is cloudy out there. Really not a bad day on our KB Complete Skyview network. Thick clouds. There might be a few drops of rain. Mild 45 degrees and northwest wind at 8. The winds have turned from the southwest to the northwest, and so our temperature is not going to go very far today. Even if we do see a little bit of sun, we'll could get up into the mid-50s, probably just the low 50s. And on Weather Track Radar, there is a lot more rain on it that is actually falling. This may be falling a little bit here, reaching the ground, a few sprinkles or light showers, and off to the east there from Clinton to Sedalia. This is probably starting to reach the ground as well. After this band goes through, we'll be done with a chance of sprinkles. That's all it is. Lawrence back down towards Emporia, and that'll move through here in the next couple of hours. This is the first system we are watching, a little bit of snow up in Wisconsin and Michigan. There is a second system coming in out of Canada. That's going to follow this one tomorrow and bring some forecast challenges. And there is a third one that is very hard to see. It doesn't have much moisture around it, but it's starting to pull moisture in from the Pacific, and it is going to sit there, grab more moisture, and then head our way for the middle of the week. So let's go day by day. At noon, a lot of clouds around, low 50s, maybe upper 40s, and then we might see the sun a little bit before it sets, especially off to the west. The more sun we see, the warmer it'll be. So if you're stuck more in the clouds, it'll be in the 40s and you're 50, like Kirksville 44, but 54 and 55 in Topeka where there'll be more sun. We're in between, so we'll probably get around 50 or a few degrees warmer. Then it'll clear out tonight for a time, and then the clouds will return again by tomorrow morning as that second system arrives. Now, it's not going to bring much precipitation, but it does present some forecast challenges. We'll start in the morning in the 30s, and then in the afternoon, there's a storm track southeast. East of the track, it is cloudy. There might be a sprinkle or a shower. Temperatures around 50 or in the low 50s, and to the west of the track, it's near 70. It looks like we're going to be on the cool side of this. A little shift to the east by 50 to 80 miles, and all of a sudden we're 60 degrees tomorrow. That's possible, so we'll keep an eye on that. But whether we get into the warmer air tomorrow or not, Tuesday we will get into the warmer air. Around 60, a really nice day, a lot more sunshine, and then that storm system that's spinning around, slowly grabbing moisture, will finally start to move northeast and bring some much-needed rain to the southwest United States, Arizona, New Mexico, and even some much-needed rain into Southern California. And we could use some rain, and it'll arrive here later Wednesday. Wednesday will cloud up. We'll start in the 40s. We'll get up to around 60 degrees, even with the clouds and the approaching rain. And by the end of the day, rain will be moving in 60. It may drop a little bit in the evening, but then as the night goes on, it may warm back up. So midnight Tuesday night into Wednesday, or midnight Wednesday night into Thursday, could be around 60 with rain. A different storm than what we've had the last couple. Not much cold air with it, any snow way out in western Nebraska, and it won't be that much. Hopefully we'll get a quarter to a half, maybe 1 inch of rain out of that weather system. Today, not much rain, a few drops, 51 degrees, a couple morning showers, then some afternoon sun, and then 40s this evening, then partly to mostly cloudy, 38, and then on Monday, 52, a lot of clouds, again, maybe a sprinkle or a brief shower, but overall, not much rain here the next couple of days. If you need the rain and want the rain and want to wash the salt off the sidewalks and the roads, Wednesday late in the day into Thursday is the day. And then there's another system Friday that might bring a rain or snow shower, but doesn't look that significant. Much warmer than it was 7 days ago.
I was saying earlier, this time last week we were getting ready for the Arctic blast heading our way.
That was
not the same. I'll take
awful.
63 November. Excellent.
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
Take it easy today, folks. But technology that could measure real traffic times under the pavement. Coming up, we'll take a look at what smart roads could look like coming to Kansas City. "25 minutes past the hour on this Sunday morning, paving the way of the future, and it's beneath the roads you drive on." Kind of a cool technology story here, folks. Only on 41 Action News, we take a look at smart road technology that could be coming to Lenexa. 41 Action News reporter Nick Starling explains.
Technology is changing everything we do. Now it's hitting the streets.
It's like roads built out of Lego blocks. It's big slabs, say 12 feet wide by 10 feet long of precast concrete. And when you're finished, you're never going to know it's there. It's totally invisible.
Tim Sylvester is the founder of Integrated Roadways, based in Kansas City. The technology put inside the roads would monitor traffic patterns in real time.
We put a fiber optic sensing cable inside that can measure when the road deforms.
The city wants to focus on 5 intersections near city center, along with 72 lane miles. And it's all in hopes of saving you money.
We can study the longevity of the road and the cost-benefit analysis of putting these panels in the ground and how that can save money to the taxpayer in the future of not having to tear out asphalt.
The price tag is about $8.5 million the company is fronting. But with all this technology inside the road, 41 Action News asks about the fear of privacy concerns.
We don't have any idea who the people in the cars are. We're not using a camera system that records faces or that records license plates. We just know that some car drove over this piece of roadway at this time.
As Lenexa looks towards the future of smart roads, the company says this technology could one day be used in every city.
I think 10 years from now, people are going to look back and point to this project as the spark that lit the fire.
Nick Starling, 41 Action News.
Union Pacific's Big Boy locomotive train is making its way to Kansas City tonight. Details on how you can see it coming up. You're watching 41 Action News, clear, complete coverage.
You're watching 41 Action News.
Good morning, folks, and welcome back. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday morning. I'm Tom Dempsey, joined by Jeff Penner. No Chiefs game to talk about today, but, people heading out to services soon, I'm sure. All sorts of events happening here in the Metro, and it sounds like generally a nice day ahead.
Not bad. It won't be as sunny as the last couple of days, but a lot better than what we experienced about 7 days ago. And actually, it was nice at this time last week. It was tonight and tomorrow, where the cold air really came pouring in and snow and all kinds of stuff. So right now we are in the 40s, 45 in Kansas City, 46 Lawrence, 47 Lee Summit, 45 in Olathe, a little west wind, team southwest and northwest. A little weak front just came through, and there is going to be some pretty good weather if you're headed out this evening to see the Union Pacific Big Boy. We'll talk more about that coming up out at Union Station. But a few rain showers from Leavenworth to Lawrence. Most of this has not been reaching the ground. This may reach the ground a little bit, maybe dampen the roads. That's all. Last a few minutes and move on. And this looks like the last band of precipitation. Again, there may be a few drops till about noon, but overall a very weak system moving across the area. And it is one of three that we're going to be tracking. We have the one moving through now. There's another one north of Montana for tomorrow, and then this third one, kind of odd, doesn't have much moisture with it at the moment, but it could bring the most precipitation later in the week. If you need to get out and do some more yard work, well, really today is not going to be that bad. Temperatures, again, will be right around 50 degrees or so, with 51 at noon, 51 at 4 p.m. A little sun is possible later in the day, not a lot of wind. We'll look at the week ahead coming up here in just a few minutes.
Today, hundreds of supercars are driving from Kansas City to Washington, Missouri for a special reason. It's all to honor Alec Ingram, a 15-year-old who lost his battle to cancer earlier this month. 41 Action News reporter Jordan Betts is in Oak Grove.
Rides for Hope KC is doing something really big today. They're honoring a 14-year-old boy that lost his battle with cancer earlier this month who lives near St. Louis, and they're riding in their super sports, super cool cars today to honor him as they go to his funeral. And joining me is Ryan, who has a car that is here. First of all, what kind of car do you have?
I've got a 19 wide body Challenger.
And where did you hear about this, and why did you decide to do it?
I actually met a couple of the people from the group at a car show. It hits home a little bit with me because my grandmother had cancer, so it
you see that fight
gives me a reason to help, I guess.
You brought something extra with you today to give to everyone who's riding from KCK and now here in Oak Grove. Show me what you got and everybody else that has them on and the reason behind it.
So the color represents the ribbon that is for the type of cancer that he had. I just felt like I needed something to give back, I guess. I used to make these for my grandmother as well. We did it kind of as a fundraiser to get her to California where she wanted to be.
Yeah, and you see everyone else here will be driving and having them in their hands in honor of Alec as they go there. Personally for you, I know you have this connection with cancer, but you just told me that you're a dad. You almost have a newborn. Talk about that feeling of being able to honor a child, especially because those parents are going through so much right now.
It's difficult, actually. Just reading the story was hard not to tear up. I don't know what I would do in that situation.
Well, thank you for your ride today, and I think everyone that's here that's going to be riding, they're going to Washington, Missouri. That's kind of an hour outside of St. Louis. They'll be revving their engine as they escort Alex's body out of the funeral home. Just a really beautiful thing that they're doing here as they leave here in just the next few minutes. We'll send it back to you.
How about that? Awesome to see the community coming together for that special event. Police officers respond to calls involving mental health on a daily basis. Now the Overland Park Police Department shed light on the training that goes into their response. The department wants the community to know, them to know there is help. It provides resources through its crisis intervention team. At a recent symposium, they showed how they train to de-escalate a situation when someone is struggling with mental health.
We like the idea of that it being another set of tools that they can use on their tool belt to be able to identify the situation that they're walking into and be better prepared to either handle the situation that's presented or provide resources and help after the fact.
The department hopes others can use their techniques should they encounter someone with mental health struggles. Coming up on 6 minutes, should say 24 minutes to the hour, homeless teenagers in Wyandotte County will soon have a place to stay. Yesterday, leaders held a ribbon cutting on a new facility.
2, 3.
The Avenue Youth House in KCK is a partnership between multiple agencies. It provides a home for unaccompanied teens in the county. It will house up to 40 teenagers, as well as provide food, mentoring, and other programming to help them succeed. Mayor David Alvey was there for the ribbon cutting. He hopes people across the metro area will support this joint effort.
I think they'll find out, what does it really mean to be homeless? How does someone really become homeless, especially a young person? So many of these kids, most of these kids are going to be here not because they chose, but simply because circumstances of life brought them to this place.
The home will work with the KCK School District to select teens who will live there. The first group is set to move in at the beginning of December. Very special project there. Bebe the panda has been living at the Smithsonian National Zoo since birth, but coming up, why this week is a special one, not only for him, but also his keepers.
For Your Health Matters today, we are at the Research Medical Center Brookside campus with Dr. Ryan Riggs in a room that a lot of women, a lot of couples potentially have been in before when it's time to start talking about having a family. But Dr. Riggs, you're saying, and one of the main things we're talking about today is that some people, especially women, waiting until later in life to start that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely, for a lot of reasons, including pursuing education. Sure. More and more couples, more and more women are waiting to start a family.
So one of the things that you're suggesting on a more regular basis now, and you were telling me before we started rolling that was different just a few years ago, it's more common now, and you're suggesting to more of your patients, you might want to consider freezing eggs for women at an earlier age, right?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of women don't know that they were born with all of the eggs that they're ever going to have, and that the vast majority of those eggs are actually ovulated or essentially used up by the time they're in their 30s. Yeah. So as early as ladies can, if they would like to pursue having a family a little bit later in life, I would recommend that they freeze their eggs, which essentially puts their eggs in a time capsule.
Is there a stigma about that? Is it fear? Is it, I mean, because you were saying just a few years ago that was not as common. What's the reaction you get when a woman comes in and you suggest that to them about, hey, have you ever considered having your eggs frozen?
I think really it's just a reaction of surprise. I think most women, for good reason, are focused on their career and their lives, and they're not always thinking about having a family in that moment or pursuing having children. So once they find that out, they're excited to freeze their eggs. And I really don't think in 2019 and 2020 there's much stigma at all associated with freezing eggs. Most women just say, how come nobody hasn't talked about this with me before?
Big question, obviously, for a lot of viewers is going to be cost with that, and obviously it's different for everyone. But you're saying when you're talking about cost benefit, it potentially is going to cost you later in life if you have to try to get pregnant at a time when it's harder to, that it would be freezing your eggs at 26 or 27.
Sure, no question. It absolutely makes sense financially to freeze eggs when the patient, the lady, is younger. The average age we freeze eggs in the United States is about 37. The average age we want to freeze eggs is in the late 20s. So essentially you're going to get more eggs and a better chance for pregnancy in your late 20s than in your late 30s.
Pretty simple process to have your eggs frozen. Is that a lengthy ordeal?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It probably takes about 1 to 2 months total. From the perspective of the patient, that is about a week and a half of stimulation of the ovaries and then an egg retrieval.
The other thing we want to talk to you today is genetic testing when it comes to those embryos, because that's something a lot of people have very strong opinions about already, but it's something you're talking about. You were telling me that the viability of having a healthy child really can be affected a lot by having that testing done.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we genetically test embryos for all 46 chromosomes, we're just making sure just that the embryo has the correct number of chromosomes. And under those circumstances, patients are much more likely to get pregnant. They're much more likely to stay pregnant. And we only need to put one embryo back, which means they have a lower risk of having multiple gestations. In the end, it just all translates into more healthy babies for more healthy couples.
Which is something that anyone who's ever been in this room or any room like this wants in the first place, and whatever they can to have that healthy baby, that's what they're trying to do.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Dr. Riggs, thank you so much for doing that. We hope you learned something from this, especially if you're considering a family. And if you're not considering a family just yet, you might want to think about that freezing egg process earlier than you did before you saw this. For Your Health Matters, I'm Taylor Himness, 41 Action News.
Good morning, everybody. College football was exciting on Saturday afternoon. Mizzou football went from leading the SEC East and talked of a New Year's Day bowl game to just hoping to stay bowl eligible. The Tigers trying to snap a 3-game losing skid. In college football, let's go out to Columbia, Mizzou. I think I said that already. All right, they're hosting the 11th ranked Florida Gators, the return of quarterback Kelly Bryant, but the offense non-existent yesterday. The defense did come to play, however. Kobe Whiteside sacks Florida QB Kyle Trask. It was more from that defense. Christian Holmes stuffs the runner in the backfield on the reverse. The Tigers held Florida to just 6 points in the first half. Third quarter, the Gators began turning things up a notch. Trask finds LaMichael P. Ryan on the touchdown. Mizzou falls in this one 23-6. Well, will the real KU football team please stand up? Please. I'm not sure which team will appear from week to week. The team that scores 48 points twice this season, or the Jayhawks team that can barely string drives together on offense. Out to Stillwater we go. The Jayhawks travel to face number 22 Oklahoma State. This game didn't start well for KU at all. Oklahoma State's Chuba Hubbard scores on the 15-yard TD run. The Cowboys led 31-0 after 3 quarters. KU finally got on the board in the fourth. Carter Stanley finds Stephon Robinson on the 14-yard score. Then it's Stanley to Quan Hampton on the 9-yard hookup. But Kansas falls in this one 31-13. Number 24, K-State's hosting West Virginia, and what a start for the Wildcats. Skylar Thompson going up top to Dalton Schoen for the long 68-yard TD pass. K-State jumps out to the early lead. All right, jump ahead now, third quarter. Thompson with the option pitch this time to James Gilbert, and Gilbert would do the rest on the 3-yard touchdown run. But K-State falls in this one to West Virginia, 24-20. How about some local action? Undefeated Central Missouri facing Northwest Missouri State. A UCM win gives them the MIAA championship outright, but trouble in Maryville. Central Missouri putting the ball on the ground. Brody Buck recovers the fumble. Then somehow